Hey, welcome to a new episode of Spyder Garage. I'm excited about this one. We are finally doing the LS swap, and today's the day. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, we are in a different garage if you guys can't tell. Some of you, if you look around enough, you might be able to figure out whose garage it is. It's that guy right there. Sean Jones, AKA Sweaty Speed Shop. Sean has graciously offered to help us with this LS swap. He's done several himself. And it was actually a couple months ago we were over here visiting, and we got to talking one day, and somewhere in the middle of that conversation, Sean said, well, why don't we just do it here over the weekend? Okay, yeah, sure. We had a couple thoughts in mind when we decided to do that. First and foremost was that the car was not put back together yet. We just had a fresh paint job on this thing, and there's no fenders, there's no hood, there's no nose, no way that we could potentially scratch the brand new paint. So we thought, well, yeah, that's a good idea. Second is, this guy knows what he's doing, and we don't. Yeah, he's done it a couple times. So we're thrilled to have your help. Thank you, Sean, for offering to help us out with this. You've been a plethora of information so far, and he and I have been on the phone quite a bit, asking a lot of questions and answering them. So let's get started. All right, quick update. Front end of the car is off enough. Spark plugs are out, radiator's out, core supports or radiator supports out, steering, front accessories, all that. Steering shaft had to come out, that's in between there. We're gonna go underneath the car right now and try to get the exhaust unhooked so we can get ready to pull this thing out. All right, motor's about ready to come out. We've been underneath the car, unhooking the exhaust, the drive shaft, transmission cross member, the torque arm. And Sean is hooking up a chain, and that's next. It is kind of weird looking at it, isn't it? Yeah. Motor is out. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a little bit tight through there.
Yeah.
But we made it work. We took it out the front and then a little bit to the side. Sad to see it come out for the last time, but...
Yeah, you can put it back in if you want. I'm
No.
going back a little bit, but if you want, you can put it back in.
No, we're good. Good morning. It's the next day. Our plan of attack today is to take that transmission off the motor, set it off to the side, take the motor outside, get it out of the way, and mock up the LS1 in the engine bay for now before we clean it and paint it. We thought at first, well, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up today and painted, and then realized there's probably some mods we need to make. I know in particular we need to make mods to the exhaust manifolds. We gotta cut them, possibly rotate the flanges. Those are gonna bang around the inner fender wells inside here. So before we get that cleaned up, we're just gonna mock it up first, figure out what we need to do, then pull the motor again, then clean it up and paint it. So we're gonna do that right now and we'll be back with you soon.
Yeah.
pull the blocks out.
Wow.
Perfect.
There he sits. All right, man, that was an effort, but we got it out. LS is out, sitting here, laying in wait. Small black is already in the back of the truck.
Yeah.
Pretty soon we'll take this in here and start mocking it up.
Yep.
Here we go.
That's good. Watch you throw that one up this down.
It's kind of long. Let's move that trash can. Oh no, it's gonna work. You know your garage better than I do. You should not question it.
Stop there. Making forward progress if we're getting out the metric tools.
I need to get you some more metric tools, actually.
Yeah.
Most of what you have is SAE. I don't have any. All the metric we use are mine.
Luckily, you won't ever have to work on an LS, so we won't need many tools.
Yeah.
Because they're just so dang reliable.
They're good. If anything goes bad, just put a new one in.
It's cheaper to do that than it is to fix it, no joke.
Yeah.
Go pick up a junkyard one for $300 or $400 and call it done.
Yeah. Perfect. Take that number 2 spark plug wire out and slide this guy off. Perfect.
Are you reading the instructions?
Yeah.
Gotta teach you better, boy.
They just go on like, right?
No, I think. Pretty sure the angle part goes in. Oh, I'm sorry. They just turned around the other way. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me. I didn't read the instructions.
Yeah.
So these are the block plates that are going on. And then the motor mounts are next. And then I think we're about ready to mock this thing up inside here, right?
Yep.
Exhaust manifolds are off. Oil dipstick tube is off because it was kind of in the way.
Yeah.
All right, progress. All right, the plates that are going on here are the ICT billet plates. These are like 50, 60 bucks on summitracing.com. Pretty easy. They come with all the bolts and all the countersink bolts, and these are going on next. All right, these are the motor mounts that are going on to the ICT billet plates there. Big shout out to my buddy Bob Gum, who makes these mounts. These are actually truck mounts that are readily available, and then he custom fabricated the bracket that goes on the back of it there, because these are so much more sturdier than the factory mounts that break all the time. So if you need a set of these, go to v8monza.com, and Bob's got them for sale there. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate these very much.
We'll start there and then we can sneak it forward or back, however we need to, but this is the back one. I go one up from there, just to try.
Yeah, that's why we're mocking it up. We'll figure out where to adjust. There you go.
There you go.
Just so I can show you, as a for instance, these motor mounts were brand new on Nathaniel's car, which were near impossible to find. But after only 4,000 miles, you see the rubber that's in there that cracked. this side of the motor dropped down and was listing pretty badly. So even the good ones that are left that you can find just don't last very long. So thank goodness Bob makes those mounts.
Start spinning a little bit. Alright, we gotta go your way, so pull it back. There we go. Take it towards the back a little bit if you can. There we go. Perfect. Alright.
Yeah, that brake's unnecessary. You know, it's going to hit the steering anyway, isn't it?
Alright, go ahead and drop it down. Stop.
Yes.
Alright, down a little bit.
Well, it's
Stop.
just up against that steering box, isn't it?
We are touching on the oil pan.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it does require a spacer.
How much of a spacer?
About a ½ inch.
That's about an inch.
I've heard some guys say 3/4 because of the steering.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't dent the pan, it's about a 3/4 inch.
Okay. Area do we have for the transmission? Is this how close your small block was, or could
Yeah.
we go back a little further?
Yeah, it can go back a little bit further, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is lined up on this side.
And I think it needs to go back anyway because of this corner right
Okay. And
here.
that's just a bolt hole. We can cut that off. That's just a
That's
flange.
true. We can trim the block. Okay. I don't remember anybody saying they had to do that, but I do think, I wonder if they went with that front adjustment on the ICT billet plate now. Because that would put the engine back a little bit further. It's cool to look at it.
Yeah. You got an LS in your Monza.
Yeah.
You drove
Nowhere
the
near running or even mounted at this point, but it is cool to look at, isn't it, bud?
It is close to running. You just have to wire everything. And
Yeah. We just got everything to do.
You're in the back hole, or can you get the front hole, or no?
Not from this angle, no. Well,
Drop it back down for me.
yeah.
There we go. Well, give me 1 second.
All right, go for it. I'll try to get a couple threads in there. There you go. I think you're lined up a little better now. All right, that spacer, it's quite a big spacer, but we'll see if it works.
All right, mine's tight.
Yep, got both of yours in there.
Yep.
Last mock-up bolt going in. Once Nathaniel gets this tightened up, we'll stand back and kind of take a look and see where we're at. All right, we're gonna mock up the exhaust manifolds now and see if they fit. This is the side we're not as worried about.
Yeah. My side is good, so start with your side, and let's see if you need to modify your side. This over here.
Down there on the floor.
And I did claim this side, so my side's good. You guys might have to go a little bit.
He left you with the problem child. Because we know that that big flange right there is going to be an issue, so we're going to figure out what kind of an issue it is.
Yeah.
It's getting close.
Is it an issue?
Actually, it might not be.
Well,
The O2 sensor.
It might be an issue when you try to put the exhaust on it. Because the exhaust will probably hit the side. Well, actually, hold it.
Do we need to pull that O2 sensor out? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's pull it out real quick, yeah. All right, O2 sensor's off. We're going to try again here.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
It fits?
That rear stud is a little bit in the way.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you could get a pipe on that.
Yeah, one of those studs, it might actually physically fit, but I don't think you can get a stud on it
Yeah.
Yeah.
once you put the exhaust on.
drop it down a little bit. No.
It's far down. It's good.
That's it.
Or will it? Yeah, it won't drop down.
I need to go up.
Nope, not gonna make it. All right.
All right, well, now we know.
Yeah.
Leave it right there. Let's look at it real close.
Okay.
So, with the whole motor up, about a 3/4 of an inch, we're hitting here. And we do not need that guy.
Yeah,
That's
we can
just
grind that down.
for the accessory drive. We also don't need that big chunk of flange because you're not going to put that exhaust back in it.
No.
We just need a pipe coming off.
Yep.
So I'm going to say cut the flange.
Cut it off.
Straight.
Yeah, we'll just cut the flange for now, but later I think we'll probably end up cutting the whole flange off.
Yeah, and then I'd kind of grind this guy to U shape just so we can drop that down a little bit more.
Yep. All right, one thing we figured out is this heat seal has got to come off. So there's 3 rivets on there. We're going to drill them out. Oh, one more. Simple as that. Oh, look at those ugly little... It's all right, as long as it works. Okay, 2 hours later, we've discovered a few things. One is that this motor needs to get moved back further to the firewall, without a doubt. We also thought that we needed to get, and we still might, we needed to get a universal joint and a different WD shaft because our straight steering shaft will not fit with this exhaust manifold. But then once we realize the motor needs to go back, we might not need to change the shaft out. But I've got all the stuff in my cart ready to purchase. You hit the purchase button, but we'll find out here in just a little bit if that is necessary. All right, pull the motor back out to move the motor mounts back, space it back closer to the firewall. It's gonna go back in now. Motor mount has been, well, the engine's been dropped in and out a few times. The motor mount has been moved forward, it's been moved back, it's been moved back again a 3rd time, and now we're trying to see how everything fits here. We thought perhaps that we needed to change out our steering shaft, but after shifting the motor back, we're now trying to see if we can get it to fit without having to do that.
And still. Dang, that's close. Might have to bump this
Yeah.
piece of steel in just a tad, but not bad.
Yeah.
So that side still works?
Yep.
All right, verdict is in. It works. I don't have to get a new steering shaft, but man, there's like 1/8 of an inch maybe?
Less than that, probably.
A little less than that even in between there, but hey, we're gonna count that as a win.
Yeah.
And if we want to upgrade at some point down the road, we can still do that. I mean, if you want to get header someday, that's gonna obviously change things. But it works. Awesome. All we had to do is just keep messing with, hang on, watch out of it. We had to keep messing with just the adjustment on the ICT billet block plate there and just keep moving the mount forward and back and trying different things, and that did it. All right, the motor's been shifted back. We're gonna see how closely our radiator fits now.
That hose is just kind of annoying. It's like,
Yeah, we can take that hose off if we need to.
might need to.
Hey, look at that.
Oh,
That's not bad.
plenty of room.
Yeah,
I might actually be able to fit a normal fan on there.
Yeah, they're pretty thin. Well, you do need a shroud also, so it'll step it back a 1/2 inch or so.
Oh, true.
Clear over there in the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
Ready? Here we go. Yeah, it's gonna stop the wheel a bit down. Coming back, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Okay, stop it.
Chris is here. You got a picture frame around you. You're so pretty. We're gonna try to put this hatchback on.
Sorry, I'm just feeling good today.
Yeah, it's a good day. We're putting it back together. There's a pin here. There's a pin there.
You the pin guy?
I'll be the pin guy. You guys be the don't scratch the paint guys. You gotta almost pivot the whole thing up almost straight up and down. Actually, there we go. I gotta drive them in, but they're in.
Work hard, right? You chip this side. No, you chip that side.
There we go. All right, we're good. Pee yourself yet? Oh, that looks good. You can kind of see more of a shape now.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, we've not seen this back on the car yet. Nathaniel, you got a Scotch-Brite pad with Comet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Scuffing everything up. I like your way of rinsing it off there.
Yeah, low pressure.
Low pressure works fine, yeah. We want this paint to stick. I took a little DA to this, cleaned up a little bit of rust and rough surfaces and a bunch of seam sealer that used to be there as well. That should look a little better once we paint it. I never was quite happy with how it looked before. Plus, with it being flat or matte or whatever color we decide to go with, it's gonna look a lot better anyway. It's not gonna show all the flaws. All right, everything is cleaned and prepped, and we're gonna prime with some etching primer on some of the bare metal, and then we're about to paint the engine bay. We've covered the car as best we can. It's gonna be a little bit of overspray we'll clean off later, but we're prepared for that. We just want a clean engine bay, and we're gonna do with what we got. We are done for the night.
Yep.
Paint looks good, bud.
Yeah.
Did good. That is worthy of a new motor and a new paint job on the outside. Just couldn't leave it looking the way it was. Now it looks better.
Yeah.
All right, back at it tomorrow. So I was a little slow with the camera, but I wanted to show this. There's a spacer in between the LS and the flywheel for the Turbo 350 transmission that we're about ready to put in here. That's necessary when you swap a standard transmission like that with an LS. So that's why it's spaced out so far. It comes with I bought the kit, it's like 30, 40 bucks. Comes with the bolts, Loctite, and that little billet spacer right there. All right, so we figured out we made a slight mistake. To convert an LS to a Turbo 350, you do indeed need this spacer. It's not just a spacer, it's also an adapter because the diameter of that center hole is a different diameter and it wobbles around. But this is a 4L60E flywheel and it's dished. I don't know if you can see it from the side, but that dish makes up the 0.4 inches difference. But that's why we thought that the spacer needed to be on the other side. It does not. So we're doing a do-over right now. We're just showing you guys how to do it. We make mistakes just like you guys do. And we're pretty real. So we're fixing it now and we should have it together soon. There we go.
All I'm doing is I'm just laying out maybe somewhere approximately a 1/4 inch bead around there, taping it off. I want to put some black windshield primer. It's like adhesive, extra.
Yeah, so what I didn't know is the black windshield primer is not just aesthetic, it actually is a primer that helps adhesion.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That's why on windshields on newer vehicles they have that black band around it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I just thought it was just there to cover up whatever junk was underneath.
Yeah, and like Sean said, it helps with adhesion and then
heat dissipation too. Apparently,
yeah.
isn't the glass doesn't crack. Yeah, I just learned that too. So that's what you're doing to my
Yeah, so I'm just going to tape this
quarter
up
glass there.
because I'm kind of weird about making sure the lines are pretty straight.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too. So welcome to the club.
So I'm just running some tape around it, and then I'll take the adhesion promoter or the glass adhesion, run around the outside, and then let that dry. Once it's ready to go in the car, we'll put the bead of urethane inside the car.
Set it in place.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I'm filming you again.
Sneak up on me.
Snuck up on you. I didn't even know that you do it on the inside of the car too.
Yeah.
I thought it was glass only.
No, it.
Golly. Well, see, we didn't do any of this right.
Not really.
That's what I'm here for, Ken.
I'm telling you, yeah, fix our mistakes, apparently.
No, not necessarily.
Just to, well,
I'm just here to try to make it right.
to do it right. Yep, I'm all about doing it right. It's just that sometimes we don't know what we don't know. Gas tank's coming out. As if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, you've been off-roading on this thing. It's awful busy down here.
We live on a gravel road.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Chunks of grass from a gravel road? I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh yeah, we got lots of grass. We live on the gravel roads that only have 2 tire paths.
Okay.
The grass grows down the middle.
Yeah.
That's how backwoods we
All
are.
the way flush, so the edge of this meets the edge of the inside of that guy.
Okay.
So there's about a 1/2 inch gap in there. Yep, slide it all the way in.
Okay.
And then from there, once this is all the way flush, you're going to take this part and put it inside the tube, and you will actually thread it onto this piece.
Okay.
It'll create the seal to hold this in.
Almost everything kind of threads.
And it threads all the way in. You have to put a lot of pressure down on this when you're twisting.
Okay.
And twist it all the way in, and it'll create a perfect seal we run fuel lines off of.
Cool.
That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what the task is now.
Okay.
Ah, the engine is in for the last time. We still got a lot to do though. It's loosely bolted in. There's still a jack underneath the transmission. Now we got to make the mods to the exhaust manifold. So the death wheel is coming out, and then we'll put those in for the last time. All right, we got a little bit of work to do on this exhaust manifold before it goes in for the final time. We took the heat shield off already, but then there's these ugly little clamps that used to hold it on. We're gonna cut those off, make it look nice. We don't need the EGR here. We're gonna cut that off, we're gonna weld that shut, and we put a plug in where the O2 sensor goes because we're gonna actually put a bung in our exhaust and run it there. This would work, but it sticks out so far it hits the side wall of our wheel well because there's just not enough space on the Monza. And lastly, that flange tip has got to get cut off because it hits the side wall of the Monza as well. There we go.
So yeah, just kind of think about little things like that when you're trying to plug holes or fabricate stuff. Is there an easier way to do this? And that's usually what I do. I'll just find a better, easier way than remaking all this piece. Just grab a washer, grind it down a little bit, and shove it in. Cool. In there. Put a flashlight in here and make sure there's no light around it. Okay. Before you put your head down.
Yeah.
And once again, I like to angle it, so I'd start here, bop, 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 and then switch over here, bop, bop, bop. Just wait for it to cool up. Yeah, a little bit more. Okay.
All right, we're about to plumb up the fuel system here. The tank is going in, just getting mocked up for now, so we can figure out where we're going to plumb the lines. Got dash 6 braided line. It's going to run all the way from the back to the front. 6 AN connectors. Different varieties of them there. We're not sure which ones we need yet, but we got enough to do the job. Corvette fuel filter with a return line already built in with, again, 6 AN connectors for it as well. We'll run that closer back to the tank, so the return line really isn't that long. And we're making progress. All right, status update. We have changed our minds a few times here. At first, we were going to ditch the power steering, take the alternator bracket that is normally down here on a Camaro, and we knew that we could put it up here by flipping it upside down and just kind of wallering out one of the holes and bolting it to the head. We got to looking at it a little more, and we thought, well, this will bolt to the other head over here as long as it's spaced out about an inch. And we still have to waller out one of these holes. We took the long filler neck off, we took the back cover of this off, and it's almost working. So now we got an alternator over here, power steering over here. They're almost spaced out the right way. We're not sure about direction of pulleys yet. We may have to add one or take one away. We might just cut this off if we don't need it. And yeah, we're doing some custom fabbing right now. Hey, we're at the end of day 2. I'm feeling really good about what we got done so far today, guys, because I almost spent $200 on a custom alternator bracket yesterday, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. And I think we figured out a way that we can just make what we got work. Okay, I showed you guys earlier that we had the power steering here, and we flipped around the alternator bracket that used to be down here, up here, upside down. But this is a truck alternator. What we have figured out so far is that the Camaro alternator has this big air duct on the back because it needs cooling. It was down here where there was no cooling before, and I guess Chevy decided they needed to put this big air duct on the back. A truck alternator is a little more compact, works a little better. I may just go ahead and buy a new one for 30 bucks. They're really cheap. This one's just mocked up because it's obviously bad, doesn't even rotate. But it shows us what works, and that saved us 200 bucks. Pretty proud of that. Other than that, this thing looks good.
Yeah, looking good.
Oh, clean engine bay, clean motor, a low 36,000 mile motor at that, all aluminum. It just looks good. Once we start putting on the wires and a special surprise we got for some of the stuff that's gonna go in there and kind of dress up the engine kit a little bit, it's gonna look killer. But anyway, that's the end of day 2. See you guys tomorrow.